I want to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with yourself. Not with me. With yourself. When you check your bank account right now, what do you feel? Because most people I know, people who work hard, people who genuinely want better, they don't feel confident when they open that app. They feel dread. And the scary part? A lot of them can't explain why. They didn't buy anything extravagant. They didn't make one giant mistake. So where did it go? Here's a week I lived in my mid-20s. I was making good money tradesman wages, solid hours. I remember thinking I had finally figured it out. Monday $14 lunch because I forgot to pack anything. Tuesday $9 coffee and a muffin at the job site. Wednesday $34 dinner out because I was too tired to cook. Thursday $7 app one downloaded on a whim. Friday drinks with the crew. $60 by the end of the night. That's $124 in 5 days. On things I barely remember. Multiply that by 52 weeks, and I wasn't gambling. I wasn't buying cars I couldn't afford. I was just living, doing what everyone around me was doing. I know some of you right now are not struggling because you're irresponsible. You're struggling because no one ever showed you how money actually behaves over time. They taught you how to earn it. Nobody taught you what it does when you're not paying attention. The stress isn't just financial. It's spiritual. It sits in the back of your mind during conversations. It wakes you up at 3 a.m. It makes big decisions feel impossible because you have no margin, no runway. And you've prayed about it. You believe for better. But the account doesn't seem to change. If that's where you are, I'm not here to judge you. I've been there. But I want to show you something that changed everything for me. And it starts with understanding what's actually happening underneath the surface. Here's the misconception I carried for years, and I've heard it from hundreds of people since. The belief that small decisions don't matter much. That the real financial turning points are the big ones. The promotions. The investments. The windfalls. So we wait for the big moment. And while we wait, we bleed out slowly through small ones. Here's what compound interest actually does, and I want you to understand this in both directions. If you invest $200 a month starting at age 22 at a 7% average annual return, by the time you're 62, that's over $520,000. That same compounding doesn't just work with investment accounts. It works with habits, with patterns, with the unconscious decision you make every single day without thinking. The person who buys $15 worth of fast food 5 days a week is not just spending $75. Over 10 years, if that same money had been invested, they've made a decision worth nearly $55,000. I'm not saying never buy food. I'm saying most of us have never been shown the true cost of our small decisions. Not just the dollar cost, but the opportunity cost. What that money could have become. But here's the deeper thing, the thing I couldn't see when I was in it. Our financial decisions aren't just practical. They're revealing. They reveal what we actually value, what we actually believe, what we actually trust. And that's where the Bible says something most financial books won't. Luke 16, verse 10. Jesus says this: "Whoever is faithful in very little is also faithful in much, and whoever is dishonest in very little is also dishonest in much." Now, before you dismiss this as religious motivation, I want to give you the full context, because the modern reading of this verse loses something important. Jesus is in the middle of a story about a steward, what we call a financial manager today, a man who is trusted with someone else's resources. And Jesus uses this moment to make a statement about character that applies to every person watching this video. In the ancient world, the way you handled small responsibilities was not just practical, it was character evidence. A merchant didn't give you a larger contract because you said you were trustworthy. He watched how you handled the small transaction first. The cultural principle was this: scale reveals nothing new about a person. It only amplifies what is already there. If you are careless with $50, you will be careless with $5,000. If you are thoughtful with $50, that same thoughtfulness scales up. This is not a prosperity gospel message. I want to be clear about that. Jesus is not saying, "Be faithful and you'll get rich." He is saying something far more serious. How you handle what you already have is a direct expression of who you actually are. Think about it this way. A contractor hires an apprentice. First week, the apprentice leaves tools out in the rain, doesn't sweep the site, cuts corners on small finishes. The contractor doesn't think, "Well, he'll be great on the big jobs." The contractor thinks, "This is who this person is." Your finances work the same way. Every small decision is an apprenticeship. And the way you handle the small transactions is not a rehearsal. It's the performance. The reason this matters spiritually is not because God is watching to punish you for buying coffee. It's because your habits are forming you. Quietly. Constantly. Without your permission. The person you will be in 5 years is being built right now. Decision by decision. In the small, unnoticed moments when you think it doesn't matter. It always matters. So what do you actually do with this? I'm going to give you 3 things. Not theory. Not mindset fluff. 3 things you can start this week. Step 1. Run the real number on your most common small expense. Pick one thing you spend money on regularly without much thought. Coffee, fast food, subscriptions, delivery fees, whatever it is. Calculate what you spend monthly. Then multiply by 12. Then go to any compound interest calculator, they're free online, and plug in that monthly number at 7% annual growth over 10 years. Look at that number. Don't feel guilty about it. Just look at it. Because you cannot make a different decision about something you have not clearly seen. Most people are not aware of what their habits actually cost over time. This exercise makes it visible. And you can only change what you can see. Step 2. Create one decision boundary this week. Not 10. 1. A decision boundary is a pre-made rule that removes the decision in the moment. Because decisions made in the moment are almost always worse than decisions made in advance. Here's an example. I will not spend more than $15 on food outside the house on workdays. That's it. One rule. Pre-decided. The reason this works is behavioral. Every small financial decision you face in real time is competing with hunger, tiredness, social pressure, and habit. You will lose that battle most of the time. But if you've already decided, the cognitive load disappears. The decision is already made. You just execute it. Start with one. Just one. And hold it for 30 days. Name where the money is going instead. This is the one most people skip, and it's the most important. When you don't buy the thing, the money doesn't automatically go somewhere meaningful. It evaporates unless you've told it where to go. Open a second savings account. Many banks let you do this for free. Name it something specific. Not savings. Name it after the actual goal. Emergency fund. Trip to visit family. First month's rent on a better place. Whatever it is. Because money without a destination finds one on its own. And it's usually not the one you would have chosen. This is what biblical stewardship actually looks like in practice. Not giving away everything. Not living in scarcity. But being intentional, directing resources with purpose rather than letting them drift. Faithful in little means you've told the little where to go. I want to slow down here for a moment. Because this video isn't just about your bank account. If it were, I'd have told you to download a budgeting app and sent you on your way. This is about something harder. It's about the gap between what you believe and what your behavior actually says. Most of us believe we are better with money than our bank statements suggest. I did. For years, I told myself the problem was my income, my circumstances, the economy, the cost of everything going up. And some of that was true, but some of it was me, choosing the easy path in small moments, repeatedly, without realizing it. I want to ask you 2 questions. Don't answer them out loud. Just sit with them. First, if someone looked at your last 90 days of spending, not your income, not your intentions, just the actual transactions, what would they conclude about what you value most? Second, what is one small financial habit you keep repeating that you know, honestly, you would want to stop? Second, what is one small financial habit you keep repeating that you know, honestly, you would want to stop? Those questions aren't meant to produce shame. They're meant to produce clarity, because you cannot change a pattern you haven't named. Here's what I want you to take away from this. Not a number, not a budget, not a formula. This, the version of you 5 years from now, is being built right now, in the small decisions no one else sees. That's not pressure. That's actually good news, because it means you don't have to wait for a windfall. You don't need a lucky break. You don't need a perfect financial plan before you can start. You just need to make one better decision today than you made yesterday. Then again tomorrow. Then again the day after. That's it. That's the whole strategy. Jesus wasn't giving financial advice in Luke 16. He was making a point about character. But it turns out, character and financial health are the same conversation. The discipline that makes you good with $50 is the same discipline that eventually makes you good with $50,000. It doesn't arrive from nowhere. It grows from somewhere. It grows from here. From the small, unseen, repeated choices that seem insignificant in the moment but are, in fact, everything. Here is your one practical action for the next 24 hours. Pull up your last 30 days of transactions. Don't analyze all of it. Just find one recurring small expense you've never questioned. Calculate what it costs you annually. Then decide, with intention, not guilt, whether it stays or goes. That's it. One decision. Intentionally made. And before you go, I want to ask you one question that I'd love for you to answer below. If you could go back 5 years and change one money habit, just one, what would it be? Not for me. For you. Because writing it down makes it real. And real is where change actually starts. I'll see you in the next one.